Cabin 13 Productions.
It was rough. I talk like I was there, like back in Nam, you know.
Back in those were the days. I'm sorry if I sound really dumb when I explain this like 5th grade history lesson.
Go check out A Pirate's Life for me.
Oh God, I switched to a camera that's real ugly.
Joey's literally just a turkey, an uncooked turkey,
And I'm like, oh, it's like airtight.
I'm such a loser, sweating God, I'm the worst.
The holidays are here, and we are so thankful for you, chat. We started this project thinking it would be a fun, easy thing to do in our spare time. But with that being said, we've had so many setbacks. From stolen gear to lost episodes, studio changes, to life legitimately picking us up and slamming us through the folding table that your mom's gonna set up for guests at this Thanksgiving. We never thought that we would make it this far in just one short year from being live on the internet. But we are so grateful for how far we've come and how honored we are to share it with you. Without you, we'd just be talking to ourselves. And for that, we are so thankful for you most this Thanksgiving of 2024 here at the Woodsmen Podcast. Welcome back to the Woodsmen Podcast. We're your hosts, Brent Murphy.
And Joey Rucker.
And I really thought you were going to bring it in right now.
I know,
and
I could feel it in
I
here.
wasn't prepared. We're back. We're here.
Shocker, right?
And we're here for another episode. As promised, weekly.
Yay. Can you tell how like enthusiastic we are?
Sorry, we literally just had a mini meeting before we even
We
even started this segment, and I'm just thinking about how much work I got to do after this. Oh man,
We'll get it done. This is fine, you know. But the good thing is, at least this week, you did get some work done.
I got us on X, which is always gonna be Twitter.
That's
Because,
X.
yeah, no, it's.
Exactly.
So, yeah, follow us on Twitter. We're at Woodsmen Pod, just like how we are on Instagram. So, also follow the Instagram at Woodsmen Pod.
I'm sure I could get away with this. I'll throw up our first ever tweet right now. We haven't written it yet, but you saw it just now. So,
Actually,
yeah.
we have tweeted. We have 2 tweets out if you care to even look. But, you know, whatever.
I didn't
it's
know.
cool.
I didn't have. I was. No, I didn't care. That's a good point.
Well, it's going to be a fun time adding
It'll be
another
fun.
social media. But this social media will be cool because I can just interact with you guys.
I am personally a little afraid because I've seen Brent's unhinged Twitter past at times where like he's a changed man. I don't although I'm not on Twitter. I left Twitter a long time ago.
Same.
But,
I have a Twitter. I don't even have a personal Twitter anymore. So
But I remember back in the day, you used to be like all about like, oh, if
I'm
I
gonna
have an
subtweet
opinion,
these
or if I'm-
fools.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
exactly.
I was so angry on Twitter, bro. I was like, dang, an app with no rules. I can say whatever I want. Like, heck yeah. So I
You're
I
very
abused it,
opinionated.
guys. I'm sorry. I abused
Hey,
it.
no, that's fine. I think if I ever made a tweet, it was probably just like, hey, I'm live streaming.
At PyJ.
I made you
you know? Well,
It'll
you
be
know.
fun. I think it'll be fun to have a Twitter. Like you said, it'll be a good way to engage with chat.
Yeah. Well, by the time you guys are listening to this, it'll probably already be Thanksgiving. So,
Yes.
happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
With that being said, we'll also have a new Patreon video out
yes.
for Thanksgiving, I would assume.
Yes,
right?
I don't know if it'll be out exactly on Thanksgiving. That would be the goal.
Well, actually, since you guys are already listening to this after Thanksgiving,
You'll know.
I hope you guys enjoy
Yeah,
the Thanksgiving video on Patreon.
wasn't it great? Oh
Yeah.
man, that thing you said
Quality.
earlier. Oh,
Yeah.
that one joke you made.
That was a lot of food.
so much.
So much.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching us do a mukbang over on Patreon.
No.
But yeah, it was fun to record.
If you didn't know, chat, again, I'll give you guys a recording date. It is November 24th, 2024, and we are tired.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure we mentioned what the recording date was when we did our Patreon.
Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving. I wonder if we could. No. Well,
No.
we'll figure that out later.
Yeah,
Moving on to a bit more housekeeping for you guys so we don't waste all your time on this holiday likely weekend. I also would like to make we're just full of throwing out promises, lately in these housekeeping.
it's the only way we can get things done.
Yeah. So I am giving my own next promise for chat. There maybe not everyone in our fan base has noticed, but there's a lot of inconsistencies with our YouTube page.
I don't want to talk about it.
There's like thumbnail errors and descriptions that are just really bad, and like it's like all it's a lot of my fault. So I'm going to be going in, fixing a whole bunch of playlists that may be out of order or potentially missing episodes if I forgot to throw them in those playlists. I'm going to be fixing the descriptions, all that stuff. I'm going to try and go back and fix all of the inconsistencies of our YouTube page. So hopefully for any of our YouTube watchers, you guys could appreciate that little bit of detail in my hard work.
I always appreciate your hard work.
Thanks.
That's
You're so nice.
It's one of the many things I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. I almost said Christmas, but
They're so thankful for this Christmas.
I love this Christmas, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, as per usual, though, guys, if you have any, stories or questions, comments, concerns, you can always hit us up at the woodsmanpod@gmail.com. But now we also have two more areas that you can hit us up or try and interact with us. Our Instagram, Woodsman Pod, and did you say that X is also Woodsman Pod?
Yeah. So you can literally find us at the Woodsman Pod at everything. I'm sorry, guys. Having the is like really hard for some of these.
Yeah, maybe we should see if we can change the Gmail to just match up with everything.
Yeah.
Pod
Yeah.
at gmail.com. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out in our list of things to figure out before season
but
4
if we
starts.
do that,
so
then we have to change the end sequence.
I don't want to talk about it. So let's get on with Thanksgiving.
Woo. I think this is our first Thanksgiving themed episode because last
I
year.
believe so. It was
Last year-
Christmas. Christmas was our first holiday episode.
Yeah.
So now we're on our first Thanksgiving. Oh, our Woodsgiving
Woodsgiving?
extravaganza
Yeah.
24. That's. I don't know if that's the name, but that's it.
That's a perfect name. Perfect
Heck
name.
yeah.
I love it. So we are celebrating our first Thanksgiving here at the Woodsman, and with all of you, chat. There's a lot to be thankful for, and we're gonna talk about some of the things we're thankful for a little later. And as we mentioned in housekeeping, if you want to see us like do a real sit down, just have like a Thanksgiving meal and kind of chill and talk, you can go check out our new Patreon episode that has just come out.
On Back to the Cabin.
Back to the Cabin over on the Woodsman Podcast Patreon, I believe is what it's called, the Woodsman Pod or Woodsman Podcast.
Yeah. You can find the link in like our Instagram
Yeah.
description or anywhere you kind of get your podcasts. I'm pretty sure the link tree can be found anywhere. So
I should update my link tree to also have that.
Pro-
I don't remember the last
probably.
time I even looked at my link tree.
Yeah. Check out our link tree. We got like literally everywhere you can find us. That's where you're gonna find us.
Yeah.
And until we get a website, that's probably gonna be your first
No,
source of
that'll
finding
likely
anything.
be
so
a season 4 goal to finalize the
Hopefully,
website because we
yeah.
got Patreon.
we got
We
Patreon.
did it,
We're
finally.
hey, baby steps, dude. Baby steps.
But yeah, so to kind of kick things off, as per Woodsman usual, we have gone into the topic and brought you sort of all the fun facts and lore of Thanksgiving.
So you're telling me President Turkey himself
Mm-hmm.
does not come to deliver his offspring as food
What?
for America itself?
Honestly, That's how it happened. And I was shocked to find it too.
It's a pretty good origin story, am I right? Like, you got Santa, you got you got the Easter Bunny.
So wait, but no, hold on. Is it a turkey that comes across the world?
It's a man-sized turkey.
Can we just imagine how horrifying
he flies to America every year.
Okay.
And he just delivers his offspring as
a sacrifice? Or does he not know?
I think they're all just already pre-packaged. They're not live. He just sends them down in the weird skin-colored
like from Family Guy.
Kind of.
He just sort of shows up to your house with
but he just lobs them into your backyard. Like you gotta go searching for it. He just lobs it through your house Bro. Not a care in the world.
What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, his name's Mr. Turkey, dude. You didn't know?
Mr. T.
Mr. T. So I'm gonna say the origins are not Mr. T.
No, not quite.
Okay, got it.
And I have to admit, I think a lot of us, at least for the American tradition of Thanksgiving, most of us know how it all went down. Again, for the most part,
I would say not a lot of people know how it actually went down. I think they just know the little, hey, we made, weird racist Indian headdresses and classes and made little pilgrim hats.
I would say
and went whoa as a fun thing to do, I guess.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying. I feel like that's what most people. That's their. I guess conception of what Thanksgiving is, but really there's so much more stuff that goes into that,
Yeah, no,
Thanksgiving wasn't really a fun time, to be honest.
Well, if you trace it back to the original feast, there's better intentions, but I think I'll get to this one fact eventually that made me laugh because it was and that first feast was one of the only times that the European colonists and the Native Americans ever had peace. I was just well, at least the first one went okay. Apparently everyone after that just wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just kind of get into it. We're going to talk about the history of Thanksgiving, at least from what I found from history.com. I don't know how reliable that is, but there you go.
We're going to find out.
So after the winter of 1620, the colonists from Plymouth, England, sailed the Mayflower in search of a new home. They were intrigued by the idea of gaining ownership of the New World, quote unquote. The trip took 66 days before they reached Cape Cod. A month later, they sailed to around the Massachusetts Bay, but throughout that winter, they lost over half their crew, which is wild. I think... I don't know if I wrote it down.
Sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if I wrote it down, but I think there was about 100 and it was either 102 or 120. I know that's.
I mean, that's still a lot of people. Yeah. Half the crew
died.
Half the crew
just because of the fateful.
120. That's 60 people dead.
Yeah.
And have to stay on the boat or throw them overboard. That's
exactly,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pretty wild. In March, the remaining crew traveled ashore and were introduced to a member of the. And we'll just say this now, Chad. There's probably going to be mispronunciations of these Native American tribe names, but...
At least you tried.
They came ashore and they were introduced to a member of the Abenaki tribe. The member spoke to them in English, which I only wrote that down because, I guess this was a question as just not knowing my history, but did all Native Americans speak English? No. Or did they?
You're asking the wrong guy, buddy. No, they had. They had their own. They had their own languages. Yeah,
right. And so it was just kind of interesting to me.
Every tribe has a different language.
This person, whatever this tribe member name was, I don't think it mentioned it in the article, but he spoke to them in English, which I just thought was.
Well, that's crazy because I have a fun fact that technically.
Is this one of your fun facts?
Yeah, it is actually. I have an interesting fact that. Technically, it wasn't the British that it's the British, right? It was the Spanish technically that
in this story at least.
Yeah, technically the Spanish were the ones that had a real Thanksgiving type of thing. They had like the first Thanksgiving with Native Americans and everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so, but how? Like, do you have any?
Well, I do, but like, I need you to scroll on my notes.
Oh, is it
know.
not? Oh, there's more.
Yeah.
My bad. Which one is it? Oh, the first Thanksgiving. Got it. Go ahead.
So it was with the Spanish.
You're like, I'm waiting, dog.
I was like, I
Can
don't
you
know.
scroll down? Cut. Get the hint, dog.
Oh, that's crazy. No, but I have here on my notes from National Geographic that the first recorded Thanksgiving-like event was in the Americas, held by the Spanish explorers in Florida in 1565. So they celebrated with a feast of Thanksgiving, complete with food, prayers, and rituals before pilgrims arrived in Plymouth in general. So I guess I take that back. I guess they didn't have it with Native Americans. Or maybe they did, but that's not what I have in my info. But so it is very interesting. 1565, that's pretty...
And these were Spanish explorers, so I mean, not to sound stupid here. Oh, yeah, but was held by in Florida, but in Florida of the New World, right? Or am I stupid?
1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Come on, man.
Stupid. And I had the camera on my face for when I said that. I'm just gonna move on from that one. Just give a little shot of Brent's face since he's smarter than I am.
I mean,
stupid.
You want to know pretty... Never mind.
What I meant was, I'm not gonna say what I meant. All I was going to try and bring up was, would their first quote unquote Thanksgiving feast, would that transcend to America's tradition of celebrating Thanksgiving?
I mean,
or was that
probably
just like,
not. I don't...
Because like I don't mean to like go against your...
if you're European and they were Spanish,
yeah,
you're at war with Spain. I don't really think you're out here thinking about what they're doing. You know, this was also after that would be before the Spanish War. Mm-hmm. And then when they arrived on Plymouth, I think that's after the Spanish War.
Gotcha.
I think either that or it's like really close. So I mean, I would assume if they're beefing, I don't think. No,
I'm not trying to say this wasn't the first Thanksgiving, but if like this never ended up sort of.
Well, it's like a Thanksgiving-like event.
Yeah.
Like not Thanksgiving itself.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was kind of just a bunch of Spanish folk being like, you know.
We made it. And then they just... I didn't think I'd get this far. Might as well feast over it, you know?
This far. Oh, man. Okay, well, to go on from the... And I don't know, I think I mentioned this, but if I didn't, this is all the traditional American history, so not saying anything is necessarily true. But I'm just saying this
came from an American source, so I don't really know.
But this is what I came up with for our current American tradition of how it went from that first feast with the colonists to how we celebrate it today. So that said, after several days, that colonist that I was speaking of, the one that I don't think gave me the name, returned to the colonists with another Native American named Sueco. Now, before I get into this, I just wanted to mention this because it brought up a lot of memories for me. I remember I had to do a paper on Sueco when I was a kid, and I hated it. I hated having to like look up all this information.
Yeah.
And it brought up another idea that I was like, oh, I also had to do a paper on Abraham Lincoln at one point, and that one even felt like I had less information. And I went to my mom and I was like, do you remember how hard it was for me to write this Abraham Lincoln essay? And she was like, I mean, I remember you struggled with it, but you also didn't want to pick up any of the books that were like over 100 pages.
That's fair. That is so
and I was like,
fair.
Oh, it was like a
dog. Doing this podcast is like a book report every week, dude.
It is, dude.
I write like at least 3 pages a week, easy. And that's like, that sounds rough. Some people be writing 30-page scripts. I'm out here like, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't know how you find it.
Okay, well, moving on. Sueco taught the crew many important skills, like how to cultivate corn, extract extract sap from maple trees, catch fish, and how to avoid poisonous plants. Squanto introduced and helped forge an alliance between the local. Another one that's tough for me. A Wampanoag or Wampanoag. I'm gonna go with Wampanoag.
Sounds
Tribe.
okay. It sounds like it might be the answer.
Probably not. and the colonists. This alliance remained. Yeah, this was the thing I was talking about. This alliance remained for 50 years and still remains to be one of the few examples of peace between the European colonists and Native Americans, or the most peaceful they've been with each other.
Dang, that's crazy.
Pretty wild. It lasted 50 years, which
I mean, yeah, think of 50 years. That's a generation.
Yeah.
Especially back then. I don't think any of those people were living past 50.
yeah, no.
Easy.
No, probably
So
not. Probably
that's-
not. We were
that's
talking
crazy.
just about that with probably not exactly the same timeline.
We were talking about the serial killers episode 2, where we were like 25 to life. Like a life sentence is 25 years. Yeah. But damn, that is crazy. 50 years.
Yeah,
that is
it's a good amount of time. I mean,
too bad it didn't last longer.
too bad it didn't go longer than that, but
'Cause it was rough. I talk like I was there, like back in Nam, you know.
back
like,
in those were the days, man. I remember the peace treaty. 1621. Speaking of 1621, it was in November of that year that the Pilgrims or colonists, apparently Pilgrims are like what
They're
we
interchangeable,
kind of
I
named them
guess.
now. But yeah, they had their first successful corn harvest that they learned from these tribes. And due to this, Governor William Bradford organized a celebratory feast. The invitation was given to their Native American allies, including the Wampanoag chief
Massoit?
Massoit.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. This feast was considered America's, quote unquote, first Thanksgiving. The second Thanksgiving was held 2 years later to celebrate the end of a harsh drought that they had. So this was kind of a moment of celebration, both that, the first one happened to be that they were able to harvest their corn properly the way that they were taught, and then the second one being 2 years later, they were going through a rough time, a drought, having probably not great crops. I act as though I'm a scholar. I really have. This is real quick information you can find anywhere. So I know. I'm sorry if I sound really dumb when I explain this like 5th grade history lesson.
Oh man, you're doing just about as much research as you were doing in 5th grade.
I did it in one day. So it's like I could have spent more time this week going full bore into this history lesson. But
you're a bear, so why would you go bore?
That.
All right, so anyways, I'm gonna need you to. I need you to continue on.
Got it. My bad.
Yeah.
It was during this time, or I'm sorry, it was during the American Revolution that the Continental Congress designated an official celebration of Thanksgiving each year. It wasn't like a mandatory thing. It was sort of just like it's kind of that fall time of year again.
Time to eat a little bit more than usual.
George Washington issued the first Thanksgiving proclamation in 1789, suggesting that all America come to express their gratitude and appreciation for things. It was actually New York, though, that was the first of many states to quote unquote adopt Thanksgiving as an official holiday annually. Most states that also practiced this celebrated Thanksgiving on different days, they weren't ever connected, while some areas of America were still very unaware of the tradition at all. In 1827, the author, this I actually found pretty interesting. I don't know if you, tell me if you knew this. In 1827, the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb, Sarah Josepha Hale, launched a campaign to establish Thanksgiving as an official national holiday. Her countless efforts earned her the nickname of the Mother of Thanksgiving.
Interesting.
I never knew that.
She literally wrote my favorite song.
That's your favorite song?
That's crazy.
Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
Sing it every night.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
to
is it-
myself
Oh.
so I can sleep.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well.
So anyways, this guy's fucking crazy.
Anyway, my last main point of this traditional American history lesson of Thanksgiving is that Abraham Lincoln was the first president to heed Sarah's request. And in 1863, he made a proclamation making asking all Americas to, quote, commend to his tender care all those who have become widows, orphans, mourners, or sufferers in the lamentable civil strife, and to heal the wounds of the nation. He was responsible for scheduling Thanksgiving to be celebrated on the final Thursday in November, and it's been celebrated ever since.
Interesting.
One little fact that I didn't throw out there, just because at the end of the day, it went back to this.
Oh, was it that they tried to make it the third Thursday of the month?
Something to do with Roosevelt?
Yeah. He tried to move it so that way people had an extra week to like buy
and then it
stuff
was like
for the
what,
holidays
it just wasn't
and like all that.
popularly.
Yeah. So it like shortly, I think like a year or so, like changed back to they were like, nah, this isn't gonna fly. They were like, this is not gonna fly.
I think they even, at least from the article I was reading, I don't know how true this is, but they called it like Franksgiving for that time era. Or they look back to it as Franksgiving because
that's
of that,
funny.
That kind of segment of time.
Heck
But yeah, so that's sort of where, at least, especially us, we kind of grew up learning this story.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
didn't learn much more else than that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more.
A lot more bloodshed, most likely. There's a lot more corrupt and
But
yeah.
I mean, this is what you usually hear, and I like,
I like to keep that memory alive.
there's a lot of things in life where I'm like, people will be like, no, that's not what happened. In fact, this is actually what happened, and in fact, he was actually a psychotic murderer. And I'm like, well, he made good movies, so I'm just gonna pretend like he's not a psychotic killer, and just enjoy what he made before that came out.
So you're an ableist.
An ableist? Whoa! No.
JK, I would not. You know, I get that. Separate the artist from the art, I guess. But
yeah, not to. I hope this doesn't go on too long of a tangent here or like a rabbit hole for us. But I just heard
it probably will.
that Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Oh wait, now I'm interested.
Is not coming back necessarily, but a lot of those like court cases and everything. He had one that did come back guilty, and that was a case where she was the girl. I don't know anything about the story, and I'm also basing this off of one YouTube video that I watched. So
Small bear facts.
Take it with a grain of salt. Yeah.
Little.
That the one case that he did come back guilty for was this situation where the girl was kind of attacking him and getting all up in his business, and he like whacked her, and to a point that hurt her pretty bad, and that's why he was guilty because of like assault. But it was also, whatever.
For our audio listeners, we weren't laughing at the
Oh, yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
Joey
no.
just I was like, maybe
I made a swooshing motion in
it
parallel.
doesn't make it better.
In
It doesn't-
parallel of
doesn't make it better.
Listen, all I'm saying is that he was found guilty for hitting the girl. I don't know what the details are.
Yeah.
But that being said, a lot of the other ones have come up a lot very similarly to like how the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case went, where it was kind of all her being just very dramatic about it. It was kind of oversaid. And so he has actually gotten out of a lot of those lawsuits, being pled, as far as I can tell, innocent of some of these accusations. Now, that said, as fans of movies,
Yeah.
everything that's happened now with the Marvel, I'm sorry to go down this rabbit hole, but I have to know.
This
I have
is
to know.
crazy. Okay.
Do you think that it would be better in Marvel's financial income for fans to come and want to see the movie if they bring Jonathan Majors back and they finish out the Kang the Conqueror story arc or that they continue to just let him be fired and continue with the Doctor Doom story arc.
Well, first of all, they're not going to hire him back on, period.
You don't think so?
Dude, they won't even hire Johnny Depp back on.
I agree.
He literally... Yeah.
No. Okay. You're right. No, honestly, okay, that's fair. And the video I was watching even made a point to that, which was saying like,
if they won't even apologize, like bro literally said he would come back. He just wants them to say sorry. And they're like, nah, we're not, nah.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's like,
what I heard was that it's that kind of situation where it's like assault of some kind, especially when it regards a woman, that Disney is kind of just like, we don't want anything to do with you. We cannot associate ourselves, even if you didn't technically do it, we cannot associate ourselves with you.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like that. And the reason I bring that up is because obviously if you look at other actors who have done crimes, Downey Jr. was like literally in prison, like
yeah, but
for a
that
long
was a
time.
different time.
I know, but it wasn't anything to do with. You don't think there's anything to do with the fact that it's just assault on women, that they're like unforgivable?
I think
and other
it's
crimes
different.
they might just be like.
I think it's different now because
on the
people
wrist.
weren't so like vocal about it, you know? Like they weren't. I mean, that's just not a thing now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do anything that, you know, you didn't even do.
Yeah.
If someone just mentions that you did something, then it's automatically like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ruin your life now. Like, you know, like that's just how it is. Like back then,
Are you saying that's
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, so then
was,
not
you know,
to force an opinion out of you.
You are, but I mean, go pop off. I'm just a chill guy.
Do you think if he truly didn't do any of the things that were claimed of him,
Who?
Jonathan Majors,
Okay, cool.
should he be allowed to come back? Would you want him to come back as Kang?
Well, yeah, I want him to come back because I think they're running Marvel into the ground. So, like, I think any chance we'd get it, you know, repairing the situation that we put ourselves in, then yeah. But you know, I also just know it's not going to happen. So it doesn't matter, you know.
That's fair.
It does not matter.
I personally am fine with the Kang arc being done.
I'm not,
okay.
Because I'm pissed that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Doom.
That's my only problem. I don't like that Downey is going to be Doom.
And I know with how Marvel has been I'm sorry, Marvel, you've been on your fans. I'm just going to say it. You've been taking a big fat load on my head.
Damn.
And you, like, I don't even care. I don't want
Deadpool
Doom
and
right now.
Wolverine?
I don't want Doom right now because I know they're going to ruin it. That's my qualm.
Yeah.
What happened to Galactus? We're just gonna forget that all that happened. I mean, like, when was the last words we had about Galactus? When we've had, haven't we had an end credit scene where it, like,
with Galactus?
with like it showed some big old.
That was a Celestial in the Eternals or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Wasn't that end credit scene with Galactus?
That wasn't
like,
Galactus. No.
Okay, so we have this big old threat, but we're not even gonna mention that.
Well, they're getting into. Well, okay.
They just keep adding more and more big guys and then finishing them off in one.
All right, this is
You shouldn't have
officially
started
where
this. You
I know.
shouldn't have started
I'm
it.
stopping it. There was your bear facts for the week. I apologize, but I had to bring that up.
I don't even remember where we were at.
We're gonna talk now for a couple of your fun facts of Thanksgiving. To be clear, I don't condone anything that Jonathan Majors may or may not did. I don't care. If he did it, he deserves to rot in hell. If he
I don't
didn't-
know enough information to condemn.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I'm just here. I just
So,
know the things I know.
let's get back into Thanksgiving, everybody. So, you want to run us through some of your Thanksgiving facts?
Well, I will tell you, I'm very thankful to be out of that conversation.
Yeah. I apologize.
So
I'm gonna get a stern talking to from Brent after we turn the cameras off. He's gonna be like, "Dog, why the
well, I mean, Thanksgiving wouldn't be Thanksgiving.
Can you try and get back in
I'm
the
sorry.
mood? You're so out of it now."
So
Be
angry.
happy.
I'm so angry now. Well, oh man. Well, I got some facts for you. I don't know if you
Some
wanted to
wolf
hear 'em.
facts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole vibe.
That's-
Chat, I'm sorry. I threw the entire vibe of this episode just down the hole.
I'm so ready to like be thankful, and now I'm just mad.
I'm
just
sorry.
mad.
I apologize.
Well,
Go ahead.
we got some cool facts.
Yes, tell me some facts about that.
I mean, some of these I was actually not really prepared for. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. Some of them I knew, so I took those ones out because I feel like they're common,
Sure.
kind of like common knowledge. But I thought for number one, it was kind of cool that Thanksgiving always wasn't celebrated on the same day. I mean, we kind of already knew that based off of what you were saying before, based on like, some people really didn't know it was kind of widely accepted in all of America. It was just kind of a thing. People were like, hey, we should do this. But
Yeah, no, I didn't.
like,
I
if
didn't
you
know
don't
that
want to-
either until we were looking some stuff up because it's kind of weird to think that like
Thanksgiving wasn't on a Thursday.
Yeah.
One day like it. So
weird.
I don't know. But I mean, it's kind of one of those holidays where I've always had the feeling that it was one of those holidays, I don't know if that makes sense, but you always have like Halloween's always October 31st, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just, every last Thursday of the month is Thanksgiving. To me, I'm like, that's
I've thought
it's
about this,
interesting.
and I don't know.
It's kind of
which-
like Easter. Like Easter's the same way. Easter's not on a specific day. It's
Yeah,
just
isn't it, like,
always
the
like
first
the specific Sunday.
Yeah, I've always wondered which one I prefer, because like, don't dates change or days change depending on the date of the year?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if it's always the same that day of this month. Wouldn't that make it easier to always know which one it is? You don't have to be like, oh, what, but not.
No.
But at the same time, it's just like it's
Because then you can
October
just mark
31st.
it on your calendar, like it's not really that hard.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But
Yeah.
I do have the Thanksgiving was celebrated, like you said, in a couple different states for years, but it wasn't until Lincoln, in 63 that it was declared the national holiday. So I thought it was cool when you mentioned that, because I was like, oh, you can check one off my list. But I found that on history.com. So
And it's funny because I never associated anything to do with Thanksgiving with Lincoln. Did you know any of that before?
I just know the abolishing of slavery comes
I
from
never knew anything about
Yeah.
this. Like,
the
that he was
Civil War, right? Yeah, it's the Civil War.
yeah.
We're not history buffs, guys. I'm only a pirate history historian. That's the only thing I know and
If you
care
want to
about.
know how the pirates shot liquid mercury up their weenie holes.
Go check out A Pirate's Life for me.
Oh God, I switched to a camera that's real ugly. That's gonna be great.
Great.
Go ahead.
So
Oof.
I got a second one right here.
Yes.
The first Thanksgiving didn't even have turkey.
That's
So-
wild.
To me, I'm like, that's crazy that Mr. Turkey wasn't even the star of
Maybe
the show.
Mr. Turkey wasn't born yet, so he couldn't even
This
deliver
is
his
true.
offspring.
He couldn't deliver his offspring in the nice, weird, skin-colored bags that you see in the that you see in Stater Brothers today.
Like me.
Joey's literally just a f***ing turkey, an uncooked turkey. You're pre-stuffing, dude.
I'll stop it. Mr. Turkey comes to everybody's house on Thanksgiving and delivers a bag of just me.
I'm just Joey.
And I'm like, it's like airtight.
It's just you with no hair. It's just a naked. It's just a naked Joey.
Oh my God.
Just oh, he's got some of like that enzyme slime on it. Like,
Oh, God.
It's literally a fetus.
Oh, I'm going to throw up.
Well, so it wasn't turkey. And it wasn't Joey in a bag, but it was most likely
Corn.
it's most likely it's most likely venison seafood, corn, beans, squash, and various other fruits and vegetables. But turkey was not the primary meat. So I'm glad it took us around 10 minutes to get to that one.
That's gotta be one
man.
that's
That
up
was-
there for
that
one
was-
of the best
That
Woodsmen
was, oh my
laughs
God.
I've ever had.
I haven't had a laugh like that in a while, man. So we got number 3 on the list. Thanksgiving was once a religious observance holiday,
What
which
does
I
that
found
even mean?
very interesting. So it was like religiously observed, like it was like, you know, kind of like Christmas.
Didn't answer my
Well, no, it's
question
like,
at all.
no, it's like, you know, like Christmas or Easter or whatever. It's
Oh,
like
really? Okay,
religiously
okay.
observed. You know, I just didn't know any
No,
other way to phrase it.
no,
you know?
I get what you mean now.
But in its earliest years, Thanksgiving was a largely religious holiday of prayer and fasting. So you weren't even technically feasting, which is interesting.
That is, I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's crazy. Rather than a celebration centered around feasting. And in fact, in 1621, a feast wasn't even considered a Thanksgiving thing in the way we think of it today. So really, it was just based on, hey, I'm going to take this day to observe whatever God, I mean, it's, you know, God, Jesus, God,
Yeah.
you know, in that time over here. But yeah, they just decided to acknowledge my God, I'm just going to not eat and I'm just going to pray all day instead of, you know, party it up and eat a lot of turkey, crack open the eggnog early and go into a food coma. So it's
I had
interesting.
Eggnog pie again the other night. It was.
Oh, it sounds so fire. So fire.
Thank you, mother.
So number 4 on the list out of 5, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade started in 1924. I don't really have any other information besides that, but I thought it was just crazy that there was Macy's in 1924.
There are some of those
Like-
companies and brands where you're like, founded in like 1802, and you're like,
Yeah.
1802.
Like, well, like, I mean, like, think about it, bro. 1950s was like the mob, you know, freaking like, I'm going to wear some a freaking pinstripe suit and a fedora and blast away with Tommy guns. And
Yeah,
that's the
dude.
50s. Macy's was in 1924 big enough to start its own parade.
You know,
Like, that's
I'm
wild.
just gonna say this. Maybe this is a hot take. For
Macy's
some
was
of
probably
our,
an 1800s company, bro. Like, that's
for
crazy.
for some of our fans, I would call them. Maybe this is a hot take, but I find the Macy's parade really boring.
Yeah.
I find most parades.
My grandma watches it every single year, and every time I wake up on Thanksgiving, I'm like,
they're like, wake
dang,
up. the
maybe
Macy's
I
Day
should go
Parade
back
is
to bed. Like, maybe I should wake up at 1 p.m.
Yeah,
and
dude, it's
start my
like-
day.
Great. There's a giant balloon of a pumpkin and a turkey.
Yeah. And then
Let's watch
something
them go
goes
at 5
wrong.
miles an hour for the
Something
next
always
3
goes wrong with the broadcast
Yeah,
because it's
dude.
all day broadcast. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's not the same as like the New York ball drop, you know?
Yeah, that's fun, dude.
yeah.
Like, I would love. That's like
There's,
a bucket list. Like,
to go?
New Year's.
You wanna go?
Yeah, I think that would
That'd
be
be pretty
cool.
fun.
That'd be cool. Just like the whole ambiance, everything about it. It's like snowing, you know, most likely. So it's like,
Yeah.
it'd just be one of those like I'm the main character in the movie moments, you know.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
But yeah, and then the final thing I have on my list was that the first Thanksgivings.
Wasn't the
These first Thanksgivings, that's crazy.
first
The first
Thanksgivings.
Thanksgiving wasn't Pilgrims, but it was actually the Spanish, so I guess there was no reason to even mention that one. But still think it's wild because I never would have even remotely considered the Spanish to have that. But honestly, it makes a lot of sense because, you know, Spain definitely had been to the Americas, and so did the French. Obviously, you have French, Canada and all that. So
Yeah.
they were over here, you know. But never really realized that they were probably over here way before the Europeans to kind of have a celebration of thank God we didn't die. So, you know, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
And there you go. Now, if any of you didn't know what Thanksgiving was,
Now you do.
now you do.
And now you got a lot of cool facts to share with your friends on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which had already passed. But, you know, if this episode came out before Thanksgiving, you would have had a lot of facts to tell your friends at the table.
Would've, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. Now you got facts to tell at Christmas
Exactly.
about Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
So, you know,
But we're gonna move right along. We're gonna now get into.
We got some traditions. We got some fun
some
things that we do,
stuff.
and this would be also a good time for you guys to send all your emails and your Instagram DMs and Twitter DMs about some of your favorite things about Thanksgiving and the holidays in general. So let's dive into it. So I feel like because you have a bigger family than me, I will definitely say, I feel like you've had a lot more traditions and like fun things that you guys do on the holidays. I don't really know what any universal things for Thanksgiving is, like besides eating a shit ton of food.
Yeah.
I've heard of people apparently like play football. Like they go out and play football on Thanksgiving. Why? Are there football games on Thanksgiving?
You're asking the wrong guy.
We are not sports people, but I could have sworn.
I feel like
Is there?
I feel like there's Thanksgiving football.
But
right?
there's Thanksgiving football, but instead of watching it, you go out and play it? Like, that's the thing where I'm like, I don't know. Like, what are the requirements? Like, I want to know now, is that a thing?
I mean, there's
games. Okay, I guess.
I don't know if there's.
All right, guys, maybe we're just dumb. I guess there is
NFL
football.
Games. I don't know. I don't know if they're like specifically.
Who's spending their
important.
Who's spending their Thanksgiving going to a football game?
I mean, no, you're right. I was gonna say like that could be a fun activity, but then that gets rid of like all of the other.
Well, like it's an all-day event, you know. Like it's not like hockey games. It's like I think 3 hours max, and then you just go home. You know, like you don't.
And you're too tired.
Yeah, you have the rest of your day if it's the morning. Like I don't really football.
Again,
that's like an all.
You're asking the wrong guy,
know.
dude.
Yeah.
My family. Has,
I mean, apparently people do that though.
I mean, I don't know if I would call them traditions. We talked on our Christmas episode about how all these traditions that my family and I do for
you guys
Christmas.
do like the Advent calendar and all that.
Thanksgiving, it's more like situational traditions. We don't have anything where we're like, oh, let's play football in the backyard or something. It's more like we normally always have Thanksgiving at either my house or my grandma's house. I don't think we've ever diverted from those two locations in my entire life. And then there's like certain people will usually always bring a certain food. Like I think Isaac's mom, my cousin for chat that you don't know by this point, my aunt, she'll bring stuffing, I believe, that or green bean casserole.
So you're gonna tell me it's supposed to be a tradition? You don't know what she brings?
Dog, but that's what I'm saying. It's not like a real tradition. It's not.
It's just something that you guys always do.
Yeah, no. We started doing this one thing a couple years ago. We haven't been sticking to it every year. It's actually a game, and I thought we could play it on the episode, but we can get to that in a second after we talk.
Okay.
But we do that. We've done that a little bit, but yeah, I don't think there's any real traditions. It's like you said. It's like let's just all meet up. We'll eat,
and we'll probably take a nap on the couch. And
food coma afterwards. I've been trying every
and
year to do better at not just like gorging down the food because it's just not fun at the end.
Nah.
You're like, dude, this food is great, and
I feel terrible.
Yeah,
like I have the worst heartburn. I've been to the bathroom 8 times.
Heartburn, stomach aches. The bowel movement is awful.
Oh no. Yeah, I definitely would be sitting in there for a good 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Easy. Like depending on like after what I ate, it's over.
So do your family have anything you can think of as far as traditions go?
I don't think really any traditions. I think the only thing that's really my tradition is like no one in my house likes any of the gizzards or like the heart or like anything like that. So my mom makes that for me. Like she, she'll like boil it and then I'll put some garlic salt and like some pepper or whatever on it. But I'm the only one that likes it. So I'm just, I just go to town.
You want to know? You want to know a thing that I don't mind when it comes to food cooking kind of stuff that other people are like, no, don't eat that. There's kind of two, right?
Okay.
So when you're eating like a chicken wing or something, or even like a turkey leg, if we're doing the Thanksgiving, when you've gotten it down to pretty much the bone, and all that's left is like
The weird cartilage
the
thing.
cartilage
Yeah.
stuff.
No, I eat it.
I will tear that stuff off.
And it goes up. And people are like,
And
are
they're
you
like-
eating the bones? And you're like, no.
You're like, nah.
They're like,
It's the squishy bones.
yeah, the ones that I can break through with my teeth.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that.
I do that too. Don't worry.
And then with red meat,
You got some extra skin on the corners. That's why,
exactly. And then with the red meat, I know red meat's not exactly Thanksgiving. It's just a food thing. But like for red meats, like steaks and stuff, when you get to like that one piece of it that's like fatty, I'll eat the
Oh
fat.
yeah, I eat the fat.
Yeah, I don't mind the fat.
But that's like good fat. That's not
I
like,
wouldn't know. I'm
it's
just
not
like,
like
oh, it's
processed
tasty.
fat. It's like
My whole family's always just like, don't eat that fat. What
I
are you
don't think
doing?"
you're supposed to eat like a lot of it. But
Well, I also
like,
don't eat meat that contains just lards of fat on it.
Yeah,
often. Like,
yeah.
I'm not ordering steaks all the time.
It's like, can I get a steak, medium rare? Hold the actual meat. I just want all the fat trimmings. I just want only the fat trimmings of the meat.
Fat.
I want it seasoned and everything like you would the actual steak, but I want you to throw the steak meat away and just give me the
man,
fat.
dude.
Like, yeah.
By the way, I feel like the overall best seasoning in the world.
Montreal
Montreal,
steak
yeah.
season. Yeah, that shit's fire, dude.
Glad we're on the same page.
I would love to start a Thanksgiving tradition where we don't eat turkey and we only eat big ass like T-bones or something, like steak, like a good steak. Like I'm like
Yeah.
out there slaving away at the grill.
Yeah, dude.
Like I think that'd be a cool
be
cool
good.
tradition. Some
be down.
steak, I mean, you keep all the other like, traditional stuff. You can even like, keep the stuffing and everything, but like the primary meat, steak, dog. That's it.
I'm down. I'm down. I think that'd be really fun. And obviously, I'm not gonna say no to a steak.
Well, because I mean, like we were talking about it the other day, like turkey just gets so old. There's so much of it,
Yeah.
like especially for
There's so
me.
much left
I'm
over.
a family of 3,
Mhm.
and we get
I'm
a
a
turkey
family
as
of-
big as like your family, So it's like you're like a family of 4 or 5 by yourself.
No, not 7. There's no way it's 7. Those two, that one. 6. Family of 6.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I'm a family of 3. I'm still getting a big old turkey, and then I'm eating turkey for like 2 weeks straight. I
Yeah,
can't
and
eat that
that's
much
like-
turkey, bro. It's the same thing
Dude,
with ham. I
honestly-
can't have that much ham either, bro. Like, give me a day's worth of ham, I'm done. Like, I don't.
Ham I could eat longer.
Ah.
I still don't think I have the same problem where if I'm eating ham all the time.
There's just so much you can do to make a variation of
Yeah.
turkey or ham. There's only
and
so
like with
much.
me, turkey also gets old just because the flavor's good, and especially if you cook it right, God, it's
Yeah,
juicy,
if
it's great.
if it's good, it's
but
good.
most
but
of the time, I'm sitting there lathering it up in gravy because I
it's
actually want it to
dry
get so
or like
dry.
yeah. And
It's like,
well, you might only be eating the white meat of the turkey then, because the dark meat is like way more moist.
is
At
it?
least to me,
I
it's
mean, I
way
don't- I
better.
don't know. I
To
don't-
me, it's way better.
I'm
But
not gonna
again,
lie, I don't think I knew the difference.
yeah, there's like the light meat and then the dark meat
Oh.
of the turkey.
Really?
I want to say maybe the dark meat is like maybe like towards this,
Mm.
maybe
Like
like
the chunkier bits.
Yeah, because I think there's more white meat than there is dark meat.
Hmm.
So
I mean,
I don't know.
overall, though, we can both agree that the skin, though it's probably the most
Glorious.
unhealthy, it's something to. Oh yeah, it's
Well, yeah.
so good.
yeah, I mean, I will never be the guy to turn down some skin off of any chicken, any.
Yeah.
I mean, now don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit there and only eat the skin
No.
off of the whole chicken, but like
That's when you really are.
that's when you have a
psychopath, where you're just
problem.
like,
That's when you have
"Oh,
a problem.
I just like the skin, and you're just ripping it off.
You're like, I don't even like the texture of chicken. I'm just here for the skin.
Salmonella.
Ah, not me. Couldn't be me.
It's like,
Just eating
what?
the fried bread. That's what the fried breaded part of the chicken.
Oh my god,
Yeah, no.
dude. Well, speaking of Thanksgiving, I think.
Oh,
we-
like the whole episode.
like the whole episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Why you-
Why'd you have to say something dumb?
I was trying to do a segue.
Okay,
You have
my
to
bad,
segue in these
my
kinds of
bad,
things.
my bad, my
No, I mean,
Got to
let's
segue
make Joey
with-
look like an asshole. But anyway,
You sound more stupid than an asshole, but continue. Since we're speaking of Thanksgiving.
I'm so offended right now. I'm so angry. But okay. I was just going to ask what stuff you're thankful for this year. I'm definitely not thankful for you anymore.
Ow. Oh man, well, I'm thankful that we've gotten through almost a year of this podcast. It'll be a year in December, I think.
It will.
So might have a little celebratory video or something.
Ooh.
You know.
Looking forward to it.
I mean, nothing special, but like we'll talk about it, I guess. But
It'll be special. It'll be a big
it'll be
thing
special.
somehow. We'll
It'll be
figure it
nice. But yeah, I'm thankful that we didn't give up on the pod, especially when the laptop got stolen. I think that was one of those like, you know, it is a hobby, but like, is it a needed one?
Mhm.
You know, like, is it one that we actually want to do?
How
And
much time and effort do I want to put into that?
yeah, let me tell you, it's like another
a lot.
full-time job.
I would say that it's more than I was expecting.
It's more than I was anticipating,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
for sure. No, but I'm just super happy about the pod and super happy that we're out here. We got 2 cams now and hoping to get more equipment, and we're just trying to build this up and make it something special. And, you know, for Cabin 13, just super thankful that we can, you know, try and make our dreams, you know, really kind of come true. We're not really into the being famous part, but we do love what we do, you know.
Shameless plug. Being famous, whatever.
Yeah,
Episode of
what, season
2?
1, season 2, yeah. But you know, it's just a fun time to do with my best homie and you know, my brother, and you know, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. You know, I kind of want to pull my hair out at times because I get really frustrated.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for chat and it wasn't for you, my big dog, I would not be here for sure because I would be at home sleeping right now. But
I would too.
no, I'm thankful for that. Thankful for the podcast. Thankful for where I'm at in life with like my relationship and just with my friendships and I would say family, but you know, family gets on everybody's nerves literally every second of the day. So
You could still be thankful for.
I said I would be thankful more for where we're at in our relationship. I'm
Gotcha.
thankful for the fam, but the relationship part could be a little bit better. But
Sure.
you know, as anyone's probably could. And thankful for you, dog. You know, because not only do I get to do this podcast with my boy, but now I get to work with my boy. And if it wasn't for you, I literally would not be here. So, you know, always gotta let you know I'm thankful for you, dog, and all the work you've been doing and putting in. And, you know, especially on this podcast, you've been doing a lot of shit. So just thankful to have you as my best bud, bro. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I appreciate the kind
You're
words.
like,
dog.
wow, I was gonna say hate you at the beginning of this, but
No, I appreciate the kind words, dude. I am also thankful very much for what we have accomplished on this podcast. It's one thing I was thinking about was how, though it's not all the best equipment, we now are at a place where we have all of the essential equipment to make a high production podcast. Whether or not Chad thinks it's high production, we have the equipment to make it high production, and that is something that, like, I've been a content creator my entire life, but I've always wanted to be able to have the nice cameras, the nice lights. I've found Word documents like on old computers of like bucket list items, and some of them are just like cameras and lights and monitors, and I'm just like, oh, I remember thinking that was impossible back then,
And then I got a job and realized, wow, money does make a difference.
That's right.
They say money can't buy happiness, but it can sure buy you everything you want. So
it's very true. But no, I'm really thankful because as much as I don't do as much content creation on my own anymore,
I mean, you make content every single week now. I don't know what you're talking about.
last week was the first time in like 2 months.
No, I'm talking about this. This
oh,
is content. This is literally creating content.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where I was getting to, is that I'm super thankful that I can still, you know, scratch that itch of mine that I've had my entire life of being able to sit behind a camera. I've always hated people. I've been very vocal about it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, being behind a camera, being able to make something that I find entertaining, something that I find funny, and I think that it would be fun to share. I'm very thankful that this podcast gives me an outlet to do that. And especially, like you said, I'm also very thankful that I get to do it with you, a homie of mine. I could have been doing this by myself. I could be doing this, with someone who just doesn't take it as seriously as me. And I think over this last year that we've been doing the Woodsman, I see a clear motivation in you that I see in myself that, it's hard to really know for sure that someone else has as much as you do,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 100%.
I'm very thankful for you in that regard. I'm also thankful for to you as a friend, just in general, because I do think that I've thought about this a lot lately, that growing up, you just start to lose a lot of your friends.
You start to lose all of them, actually, but
yeah. And so I'm very thankful that, like, of all the friends that have kind of come and gone throughout my life, that you stuck around, and that I've been able to be the most real with you that I have been with anyone else. And it's nice to be able to have someone you trust and you can call a friend and joke around with, and know that if the world was going down in a meteor shower, that
it's over.
we would be like, we'd call up on the radios one last time.
It's like,
Hey,
we're
dog.
cooked, man. They were sweats anyways. We'll get them next round.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm thankful for a lot. I'm not. It's kind of like you said. I'm thankful for my family, of course.
There's a lot to be thankful for, bro, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, we got food on the table. That's already a big one. So
yeah,
some people be out here, I mean, literally where we live. I mean, we just had some crazy rain, some crazy wind and everything. And I'm just thinking, like, dang,
yeah.
there's people that are out there on the street.
No, I think
no
about
food,
that a
no
lot.
nothing. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's a struggle sometimes, a lot for me, that sometimes I'll be at home and I'll be sitting in my desk and I'll see the equipment that I have set up for myself. It's just my desk, because I'm, like I said, I do some videos on my own, and I try a lot lately to just remember. Sorry, I apologize, but I feel like you can hear it.
I think it's because it's cold, because I've been like,
dude.
we've been clearing our throats a lot in the past hour.
All I was going to say was I try very hard lately, as like you said, the job does bring in money for us to be able to get all this stuff. Try very hard to make sure to stay humble and to not be like, take this for granted, like, this is an immense pleasure to be able to have all of this nice equipment, for us to lose a laptop and then
get
for
one
the most
back
part, get one
that's
back
even
very
better than what it
quickly.
was before. Like,
It's
that's
super, it's a big blessing. And so I'm very thankful for that.
I mean, shout out to our parents, man, because if we didn't have supportive parents, like, in general, I mean, like, you went the college route with, like, all of, like, the editing stuff, and then I went to the film route. So it's like, dude, not a lot, just that in general. Parents would be like, I'm not paying for it. They wouldn't pay to, like, fuel what, I mean, to most is a pipe dream, like, oh, you're going to make a podcast? Like, oh, you want to get a job in editing videos? Like, you want to get a job in making music? Like, we had teachers that would literally, well, not you. I mean, you stayed quiet about what you wanted to do, but I didn't. I had teachers making me write different essays because I said I didn't want to, like, pursue anything that was anywhere outside of, like, creation type of stuff or like art. So I mean, shout out to our parents for being, open-minded to, the world being a different place, and that you don't have to be a steel worker. You don't have to be, all these crazy, construction, or, a lawyer or a doctor, all that. I mean, all that's great stuff.
If that's your passion.
But it's like, if that's not your passion and you don't have people who say, like, I think you could do what you actually want to do in life as a career, like, it's discouraging, bro. I couldn't imagine some of these kids. I mean, we grew up with kids that had parents where it was like, you're going to go to school for this, or like, you're going to do this with your life.
If you don't hit these grades, then you're not going to be going into this side of the,
like, oh, like, you can't go out to eat with your friends because you got A- on your paper type of thing. It's like, that's crazy, Like, so it's cool to know that we had, like, parents that, cared and knew that stuff like doing this was important to us. And
that is a thing I definitely appreciate about our families. I mean, I don't know as much about your family, but I can tell with mine that they know how much of a passion this is for me. And how they're just like, all right, we don't always get it, but we will strive
yeah.
to like make this work for you. And I really appreciate that. You know, I also want to shout out, I don't necessarily want to say the place or the people's names, but I have to shout out that I'm thankful for my workplace. Because like you said, you brought up a lot to do with how we're now doing something that we love and that we're actually in a work environment that is to do with something we are passionate about, editing or audio or video. And so I think I can say I'm an AV technician.
Yeah.
But it's really nice because I really did think we were going to end up doing jobs that we were going to hate. I worked a couple jobs that just, no offense to the jobs if you ever see this podcast, but
they're not what you wanted to do.
Selling gelato in a dying mall just wasn't the move.
No.
I'm thankful that not only can I work in a place that I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but also that I'm doing it with people who also have the same passions, because then we can all get along more and we can all relate to each other, and it makes the work environment so much healthier and more fun.
Well, and that everyone's just like cool. Like they're not you know, like you said, I've gone through job after job after job, and don't get it twisted, chat. I wasn't getting fired from any jobs. I was leaving to go to different jobs. I don't want no one to be like,
makes sense.
Oh, he's a job jumper. Nah. I'm doing better for myself. That's what I'm doing. But no, but I mean, I was, you know, I was cleaning pools. I was doing construction. Do I look like I'm someone built for construction? No. Like it was a terrible work environment. I don't like getting yelled at all the time. But no, I was doing all these crazy jobs, and you know, the last job I was at, shout out to Kona Ice, love you guys. No, it was a great job, great opportunity, but
it seems like you've stuck with them a lot longer than some of the other jobs that, like you said, you clearly just needed to leave because of it. Just
the environment, man. Just the environment, the people I worked with, and everything were just not. They're not great for my mental health. I won't say they weren't good people. Like, yeah, they're good people, but I just think like we never clicked on anything because we didn't relate on any sort of level, you know. Kona Ice, it's been a great job. My boss has been phenomenal to me, like another like parent to me, honestly. You know, very understanding and super cool. But it's not like what I want to do. You know, like what I want to do is this. You know, I want to edit. I want to make music, just art in general, create. And so to finally be in a place where I can do that and I can, be with other like-minded people who not only are into different things than me, but like people I can joke around with, people I can like, oh yeah, like I actually want to go to lunch with these people, as silly as that sounds, it's not like,
no, that makes perfect sense.
Like, oh, I walk into work and it's like, oh, hey, we're work friends. They're like people where it's like, yeah, okay, I'll spend my lunch with you. Let's go and chill where I'm not getting, like as sad as it sounds, like where I'm not getting paid to hang out with you, so to speak, where it's like I want to hang out with you. Like not a lot of people have that in their work environment. If you're working, a warehouse job or something, a lot of those people, it's like, dude, I'm just trying to get my bread and go home. Like I'm not trying to hang out with anyone like here. Like, I mean, yeah, you're cool to work with, but I'm trying to go home. It's like being at a job where you actually want to interact with people and want to be around people and talk to people, get to know them. It's like very refreshing, and it's a very refreshing thing to have when, for the past year for me, I mean, I was working alone pretty much, so very self-isolation, when it comes to certain jobs. But it's nice to come back into something where it's like, oh, people are cool. Like, I'm actually interacting with normal people who are nice, that actually talk to you in a normal manner.
Another thing
it's
I
cool.
appreciate about our job is that because this has always been a passion of mine, this kind of work, going in, and maybe the job knew this or maybe they didn't, but I feel like I didn't know anything of what some of the stuff they needed me to know. And
don't worry, I'm already feeling that right now.
I know it, it's like, now it's like, oh wow, you actually learn a lot of stuff just on
when you have to be there.
Yeah,
and you just like, hey, just do it.
It's a blessing. It doesn't feel like labor in a way. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it really does.
I mean, I would hope that work at some point feels a little bit like work, or else it's not challenging,
it's not supposed to be fun and games, but it's supposed to be like, it's the reason I've said that I don't like school or like college and stuff. As much as I appreciate what college did for me and appreciate the opportunity to be able to go, there's something about, you know, having to pay to learn and to be forced to do it in these certain ways and have to meet these certain expectations. Whereas in work, I get to now
Get paid to learn.
to learn in a way. And even though I'm also getting paid to teach others in a way, I there is some learning to be done, and it's fun. It's like this podcast. I've said it before, how, and you mentioned it on this episode, that sometimes we're writing 3 pages of research for an episode, and
that's not even,
it doesn't feel annoying though.
Yeah.
We're actually interested in what we're talking about. There's a level of just like, oh, this is making me happy for once. So I actually want to learn it.
Well, I mean, I'm like, just as an example, I'm pretty sure that pirate episode, I wrote well over 10 pages of stuff.
You went
like
pretty hardcore on the
dude,
pirate episode.
I was like, this is crazy, bro. And like I said, just knowing that some people were writing like 30 to 50 pages for an episode, I'm just like, and you do that every week?
Yeah, there's
like,
no way.
that's, I mean, maybe if this was a full-time job, that would be great.
Yeah.
But like,
because then
I don't know how
to
you
do except this.
Yeah, I just don't know how you find the time when you got another full-time job to just sit there and write like that. But I mean, I guess I could also say I'm thankful for a lot of those podcasts too, because I mean, as silly as it sounds, if it wasn't for listening to a lot of really cool podcasts and like being interested in like certain topics and sticking around, even if there may be sometimes topics I don't really care about, like that's fueled the fire to like want to do more, want to do better. You know, I feel like I'm constantly, if I'm listening to a podcast, thinking like, okay, let me take down notes as to how they said this or how they did this or like how they structure this, because it's like, if we can just get to that level, then it's just another step to hit. And I feel like it's just one of those, if I didn't have a lot of those podcasts, I mean, we'd have no base as to what we should be even doing, you know? So
would it be cringy to say then that I'm also very thankful for YouTube before 2017?
Oh no,
because
I mean
that's
shaped
the
you.
Biggest
That like shaped you.
inspiration
Yeah.
of all for me. That's seeing these people take a camera, and a lot of times back in the day it was a shitty camera, and they'd just be like, "I'm going to record a random idea today."
Yeah,
and they did, and because they stuck to it, they sought it out. They saw their dreams have an opportunity to become real, so they were like, "I guess I'm just going to go full bore into it," and they did, and it paid off. Like seeing that happen for so many others. Whether or not the Woodsman blows up one day or doesn't, and we're just doing this as a hobby when we're 55, it's given me so much inspiration to be like, I think we have something here. Yeah. And I want to run with it. And I'm very thankful for YouTube post back in the day.
Definitely, bro.
Post, or what's the opposite of post? In that term.
Publisher?
I don't think that's the.
I don't.
I mean, post as in post-apocalyptic, like post.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
I don't know. I don't know.
Pre. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thankful for pre-YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Back when it was good. back when you could actually scroll down to like users and actually get to the bottom.
Yep.
Like that's crazy.
Those are good old days.
The good old days.
Well, if you're down, before we either go into our discussion or wrap up here, I kind of wanted to play a little Thanksgiving game. So I mentioned earlier that we did this. We do this sometimes at Thanksgiving. We had one year where we did it and we thought it was fun. So now every now and again we'll do it for another Thanksgiving. It's a "What are you thankful for?" game. Okay. But it's through the alphabet. So you have to say an A that you're thankful for. I have to say B.
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
And I think it would be funny. And if
okay, I'm down.
All right.
Go to Z.
Yeah, go to Z.
All right. Who's gonna start? Me or you?
You, because I had trouble practicing with my mom thinking of an A letter.
All right. Apple cider.
Oh, that's a good one. I am thankful for.
Okay.
I have to censor that one.
Cats.
Dogs.
I want to say elephants, but I'm like, we're not naming animals
No,
right
no,
now.
no, it could be anything.
And
you know what? I'll say if it has to be like a phrase,
yeah,
that's fine too. Just has to start with E.
This is
It's tough.
really hard to do this on
It's
spot. Can you do the E one? I'll do the next one.
Okay, I'm thankful for yeah, that's just true.
That's what I mean, dude. I can
I'm
only think of
thankful-
elephants,
I'm
dude.
thankful for electricity because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be doing this.
We wouldn't be doing this. I'm thankful for Fox selling out to Disney so I could finally get Deadpool and Wolverine.
I am thankful for yeah, this is
I know.
I didn't think this game would be so hard. I thought it would be
I'm also trying to say the ABC.
I'm doing it real fast
Like-
in my head every time too. I'm thankful for something I don't have yet. It's called the Govee TV backlights because I want them and I'm gonna
And
get
I'm
them
thankful that
eventually
they exist.
because it's those things that make the screen light up with the
Oh, yes. That would, yeah, those are
I'm
pretty
thankful
cool.
for Govee TV backlights.
Wait, what letter are we on?
Yep, GH.
Oh, okay. I'm thankful for hockey.
That's a good one. I'm thankful for Isaac. He's
Love
my cuz. It's Jay.
Thank you. I'm thankful for the judicial system of the United States of America. And then they could, oh yeah. Dog, I'm thinking so hard right now for no reason. Wanna know what's crazy? It's because your contact name in my phone is Big Boy Joey Rucker, and in my head I was like, it's not a B.
Awesome. Okay, the judicial system. Got
The
it.
judicial system that our judicial system could be.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay.
I am thankful for I'm thankful for Kreischer. Bert Kreischer, to be clear. He's a great comedian. Definitely has inspired a lot of my humor.
L, right?
Mm-hmm.
The love of my life, Ashley. Mainly because I just realized I said apple cider instead of Ashley. Eh?
It's a good save. It's a
Dog,
good
you know
save.
how mad I was because I figured that out at like C, and I was like, what the fuck?
The love of your life, Ashley. That's
Dude,
a good
I'm
one.
trying so I don't
No,
know why
I
I'm
honestly-
thinking so hard right now.
To be fair, when I did this game with my family, there were like 12 of us. So like we had
so it's
time,
even easier, yeah.
had
it's
time to
like-
think of letters. So I didn't think it would be that hard with two people. So L, M. I'm thankful for my mom. My mom. She the best.
And,
I'm thankful for my mom's hugs.
oh,
I like those.
mom hugs are good.
Yes.
So N, trying to think. Neapolitan ice cream.
Okay. I'm thankful for OBS because without OBS, that's another way we've been recording this entire podcast since the start.
Heck yeah. I'm thankful for pockets.
That's a fair one.
You know how
No,
you know how terrible life would be without pockets,
That's a
dude.
really fair one. No, really, that's a good one.
Q. Ooh. Thankful for the Queen of England.
I'm thankful.
Isn't she dead?
I think she may have just died recently.
Or,
Maybe. I don't really know.
I'm thankful for vengeance.
Be fair, I think I'm doing British. Now I kind of slipping. No, I was doing
You sound
British.
kind of like Tom Hardy.
Now, Q. I'm
Yeah,
thankful
Q.
for.
Christmas.
I'm thankful for. Oh no.
Dude, Q's
Q's a
hard. I'm
double.
trying to think like
I'm thankful for the quadratic formula.
because I was like your biggest hit on YouTube.
It
Oh
was the
no,
square
it
root
was the
song.
square root song. I mean,
But
quad, square,
square.
same thing.
I'm not thankful for the quadratic formula. I just had to think of a Q chat. Move on. R.
Okay, R. Thankful for the color red. Honestly,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
red's one of my favorite colors. So, yeah.
I am thankful for Stan Lee
Oh,
because he, like YouTube, was a very huge inspiration on like what my imagination turned into with all this stuff and what my love for comic books and comic book movies.
heck yeah. Thankful for T, I feel should be an easy one, but I'm just like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm thankful for trees because, you know, without trees, we wouldn't have the woods, and without the woods, we wouldn't have the woodsmen.
That's fair. That's fair.
And they give us oxygen to breathe.
Brief.
To breathe.
You. I am thankful for you. No,
Oh, silly boy.
does that count?
Yeah, count it.
Ah,
count
nice,
it.
nice. I'm thankful for you, dog. Incorrectly spelled.
QRSTUVV. Okay, well, I'm thankful for thankful for violins, man. I'm thankful for the tiny ones, the big ones, the small ones, the
Tiny
medium ones, you know.
Tiny one.
Thankful for violins, man.
All of them.
all of them.
All the
All
violins.
shapes and sizes. I'm thankful for violins, man. This is hard. This is like
I'm
extremely. This is extremely difficult.
I wasn't expecting it to be. I'm thankful for.
W Wumbo. Nailed it.
I'm thankful for water.
Thought you were gonna say weaklings.
I'm thankful for a specific kind of water. Actually,
Arrowhead.
Not what I mean. I'm thankful for like the water that you get when you're up in the mountains and you're like by a stream and it's coming right off the rock, so it's like the freshest,
Like
cleanest water.
from Heart Rock
And,
when we
dude,
just
that's exactly.
dove
I'm
in
thankful
and,
for that stream right there where we just had that.
and it was so cold too.
Oh, it
like
was
oh
so
my
nice,
gosh.
so natural. I'm thankful for all natural, God-given water, dog.
Heck yeah. No, I felt that. W. Thankful
I
for
said
the
water.
Oh man.
Yeah, sure, go W. If you got one, go
I was just
W.
gonna say the wilderness so I could get it over with.
Brent's thankful for the woods, like for 5 letters.
Yeah. X. I'm thankful for Exelinator.
Hey,
Our
there you
boy
go.
Alex. I'm thankful for you, dog.
Was Xelanator the only word other than X-ray that or xylophone
I'm
that you
thankful
knew?
for X-rays because without them, I wouldn't have known. If I busted my skull open when I fell, I fainted, but like I fell.
I'm Z.
Oh,
The hell?
No.
I can't look up.
you have Y.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm thankful for you. Times 2.
All right, fair. No. That's fair. That's fair. Z.
What am I
Well, I'm
supposed to say,
thankful for
yarn?
zebras. I'm thankful for zebras
It's a cop out. That is such a cop out.
because they're black and white and they know no race because they're black and white. Yeah.
I feel like zebras are white with black stripes.
No, they're black with white. Wait.
White.
No,
with
they're white
black
with they're white
stripes.
with they're white with black stripes because their bellies are white.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. I didn't know if this was going to be one of those, like, a fish is not a meat, or trees or plants kind of thing. I was worried, but no, you're good.
I mean,
We're good.
trees are trees, but
And
yeah,
with that,
pop
Chad-
off. And with that, I bid you adieu.
Bid you
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we forgot to ask a question.
that's right.
So-
you go for it. Let 'em
Oh,
know.
yeah. So, chat, we I almost said question. We got a question for you.
Yeah.
Chat, we got a question for you guys. So what are you guys most thankful for? I mean, we kind of talked forever, so I feel like
Yeah.
it's only fair to ask,
I feel like a third grader could have figured out what question we were going to ask you on this episode. Thanks for joining. We're your hosts, Joey Rucker.
And Brent Murphy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Woo! Dog, I'm hungry.
The Woodsmen Podcast is actively reading and responding to everything and anything on Instagram and our email. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, or would like to possibly be on the show, you can email us at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com. Make sure to keep up with all things Woodsman related on Instagram as well, at WoodsmanPod. Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe to the Woodsmen Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, with video exclusively on YouTube and Patreon. Make sure to follow our personal accounts at Strange Kids and Pie Master J on all platforms.
The Woodsman Podcast is co-produced by Brent Murphy and Joey Rucker.
Our technical producer and engineer is Eric Bessero at Elite Sound Studios, with additional engineering by Brent Murphy.
Video editing by Joey Rucker, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears by all of us.
Any additional content by the Woodsman Podcast may not be used without our permission. Copyright Cabin 13 Productions.
And remember, you can't have Thanksgiving without stuffing. Okay, well, turkey's okay, but honestly, I enjoy stuffing way more.
Turkey's the bird, and the bird is the word, Joey.
Okay, that's not a good enough argument. The thing is, turkey's not actually that good.
You
if we're
don't
being
go to
honest with
someone's house and expect them to make you Cornish game hens.
ourselves. Okay, but have you ever had just a great
Turkey
thing
is
of stuffing?
turkey.
Turkey is
Turkey
not.
is Thanksgiving.
Turkey is overrated.
You know what? They put your food inside the bird, so.
Well, yeah, because they knew that it would make the bird actually taste good in the first place.